Hello, everyone. If you don't know me, you do now. My name is Cooper. You may also know me as Lux from this channel, or Twitch if you ever see me on Twitch. Probably won't happen. Um, Depending on when it gets released, I just released a video about what I'm gonna do with my channel now. I'm not gonna explain it again because I don't feel like it. But yeah, this is gonna be the first episode of The Room. That is what we're calling it. It's gonna be called The Room. It's a crappy name. But yeah, there's gonna be a lot of stuff talked about, some insensitive topics. It's that's what it's gonna be. But yeah, The Room. I gotta get it right. The Room, episode 1. Um, I might have a co-host. It's looking like I might have a co-host. I don't know. But yeah, The Room, episode 1. It's gonna be good. Yeah, man. I say let's just jump into it. Where do we start? Let's start with politics. If you do see me looking off to the side, I have a list, a little Google Doc that I wrote about stuff I wanted to talk. So let's talk about my views on everything. Let's start with Trump. I hate the guy. He's a terrible dude. And I don't support him whatsoever. I don't claim to be part of any Democrat. No, I almost said Democratic Party. I don't claim to be part of any party at all. Um, I believe if you're in politics, you're just a bad person most of the time. There's a very few people I do like. Even Obama did bad things, whether you guys want to admit it or not. He did. Every politician has done something bad, but Trump is a terrible person. Um, I think he's a terrible person. In MAGA, the Make America Great Again. That's the that's damn near I say a it no, it is a cult. It's a cult. It's basically the Triple K. Like, um, but like, when has America ever been great? Let's talk about that. When has America ever been great? Um, was it into 2000s? Not really. That was 9/11 happened. What about the 90s? Well, no, that was Jeffrey Dahmer. 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, way back. Well, racism, and that's still alive now, and a whole bunch of other terrible stuff. America has never been great, and don't say money wise. Don't sit here and be like, oh well, money wise it was good. Well, there was a Great Depression, so it wasn't good. No, it wasn't. I do support Palestine, free Palestine, 100%. I'm not scared to say my views, unlike some other people out there that are. Y'all are some grown ass people. Say how you feel, whether you lose sponsorships or not. People are dying. Do I support Hamas bombing 1,200 people in Israel? I don't. I don't want anyone dying. Um, I also don't support Israel trying to take over Palestine, though. But I really don't support Israel killing over 30,000 people. 18,000 people, that 18,000 of them that have died are children. 12,000 of those 18,000 are um children under 12. And it's crazy because we're s- my bad. We're still funding them. Um and we're giving them loads of money. People are supporting them. I'm not supporting them because they are starving there. They're in a level 5 famine. If you don't know what that means, that basically means they have zero food and there's zero possibility of them ever getting food again unless the day it happened they were given emergency stuff, like emergency food, and they had like a full emergency thing. That never happened though. So there's videos on TikTok. I don't suggest looking for them. They're not fun to look at all. There's kids starving, and that's a really sad thing to see. And Israel's committing a mass genocide. There are also Israel soldiers who are going into their prisons and doing terrible things to women and children, maybe men too. I haven't done that part of the research, but yeah, I don't support that whatsoever. I support peace. I believe in God. I claim to be a Christian. I practice Catholicism, but I like to say I'm a Christian. Um, I believe in God, and a lot of people who are part of MAGA also say they believe in God and that they're Christian or Catholic. But you're going against all your beliefs because Um, Prime example is the story of the Good Samaritan, where that person was in the other land and not they I don't know if they were in the other land, but they were hurt and they were laying down. And a priest from his own land looks at him, walks by. Another person looks at him, walks by. After a while, a person who he claims to be his enemy comes by and helps him and brings him back to health. And when the guy tried to offer him something in return, the guy who helped him said no. That's a prime example of what should be going on with immigration. I don't believe ICE should be a thing. Am I saying get rid of ICE? No, because I do believe if you do commit a crime in America, you should be sent back. I don't believe that anybody should be illegal, especially on stolen land. This is not our land. This is the Native Americans' land. Um, but there are rules, and those rules were set. And now, is it almost a hit in the face to people who spend a lot of their time getting here legally? A little bit, yes, but you also don't know the situation that other people are going through where they might have to come here illegally. It might be impossible for them to get into America any other way but illegally. And Trump is deporting all these people, not with due process, by the way, might I add. Obama, Biden, Bush, a lot of other people deported people with due process. Trump has not, because according to people, once you get into this country, you have no rights. That's a terrible way to look at a situation, because I believe that every human should have basic human decency and human rights. But at the end of the day, people are just racist, man. It's that. Let's call it what it is. It's blatant racism, and that's exactly what Trump is too. There's been like alligator Alcatraz is Auschwitz 2.0. Like he this is the beginning to a genocide, and whether or not you don't believe it, do your research. It is. Don't support alligator Alcatraz because it's a giant tarp with fence cages on the inside and metal beds. That's not a safe place. Our prisoners in the US have better conditions than that. First day it was actually put down, it flooded. So don't tell me that it's a good place. But yeah, those are my views personally. If you have the opposite of what I am. It is an opinion, but at the end of the day, some opinions are right and some opinions are wrong, and I don't care if you think differently. If you do believe Trump is a good guy and a good president, you're wrong. You're just wrong. Like you're not right at all. I don't care if that's your opinion. It's not a right opinion. But yeah, let's get started. I'm gonna talk a little bit more. We're gonna discuss some topics on Trump. Um, some about a little bit about some of his administration. We're gonna talk movies, Superman, weapons, Fantastic Four, um, WNBA, uh, Ice Jid or JID. Some of you may know him, his new album, and yeah, some games. Yeah. Let's get started. So Donald Trump just the other day ordered National Guards to DC. Last time that happened was when he did the mass deportations on the ground, and it was the start of whenever he sent the ICE agents out on the ground to arrest people. The problem with this is that first off, no president in history has ever done it like that, and these people are getting mistreated, and the ICE agents are going into sensitive places, as in elementary schools. Yes, elementary schools. They're taking kids below 18. They're going into elementary schools, churches, um, high schools, job workplaces. They're going everywhere. Um, but that caused some protests, and I'm not gonna call them riots because only the news calls protests riots because they just want a good story. I'm gonna tell it how it is. Yes, there were some riots, but there's also videos of police in LA that were destroying their own cars to make it seem like protesters were doing it. But no, a lot of them were peaceful. That caused a lot of uprising. And then eventually the National Guard got a hold of it and got them out again. So that was good. But just the other day, Trump ordered the National Guard to go to DC, and he now has full control over the police. He's taken over all local police. There's militia points everywhere in DC right now. Um, he says DC. This is what I'm reading. He says DC is a lawless city, even though if you do your research, DC, Washington DC, yes, our capital, has been at a 30-year low for all crime. It's gone down 27% year to year. But he says it's a lawless city run by violent gang members, and he also wants to get rid of the homeless there. Now, do you know what's crazy? Where are you gonna send them? You expect them to walk out of state? Are you gonna arrest them? You're gonna arrest them and then leave the real criminals out on the streets, not in jail. It's dumb. It's really dumb, honestly. Oh yeah, I just realized you may see the shirt I'm wearing. Yes, that's a police flag. I do support the police. I mean, not the bad ones, but the good ones. Yes. My uncle's an officer, so of course I'm gonna support police. I don't support bad ones though, at all. But yeah, back to what I was saying. He wants to get homeless people out, which is kind of crazy if you ask me. Um, Honestly, I think shelter and food would not be a problem if we were to stop giving $20 billion to Israel. And listen, call me a bad person, but I'm not gonna support a dictator supporting the dictator. Yes, Trump's a dictator. He's broken um many parts of the amendments, being mainly the first was free speech, especially during the LA protests where police wouldn't allow press. They shot an Australian press woman. But yeah, Trump says he is going to take over order again, but the DC mayor says this is not warranted because crime is dropping. During a press conference, he listed many other cities, saying he might go further with taking over the police. Chicago being one, LA, New York, Baltimore, and Oakland. Um yeah, he's trying to take over everyone, dude. And if you fail to realize that, you're you're crazy, man. Um More stuff on Trump. He says he will meet with Putin to discuss ending the Ukraine war. I will never understand Trump and Putin's relationship. It's like they're best friends. But it makes sense, you know. Of course a dictator is gonna like another dictator. But if anything he should be with Zelensky again, but you know last time they did that he belittled Zelensky and it was terrible. But yeah, he's gonna meet with Putin, probably be a buddy buddy with him. And he actually said in an interview he's gonna tell them to do a ceasefire or have good luck fighting. That's crazy. That's insane. Have good luck fighting. Yeah. that's that's crazy. Um the other day Trump covered the Oval Office in gold after right after signing a new law cutting healthcare. He spent 200 million it looks like to get the Oval Office gold plated to make it look all pretty for him. I'll say this once. No, I won't. I'll say this a lot. Eat the rich. The rich are terrible people unless they give back to their community. And I'm not talking Amazon giving back, as in like, oh, well, I have billions on billions of dollars, but I give you packages and I give you items to buy. No, no, no. Give back, donate, do all that stuff. $1 billion should never be a thing. Not one person should have $1 billion. I hate the rich. But yeah, he covered the Oval Office in gold after signing the law to cut healthcare from 17 million Americans. He's cutting your healthcare. He wants you to die. This is what I hate about MAGA. Y'all think he likes you and he's here to help you. He's only here to help the rich upper class. He does not care about you middle or lower class people. That is coming from one of a middle slash lower class person. He doesn't care for you guys. But, yeah, sure. Keep supporting him. RFK Jr., who I thought was going to be a cool dude till he endorsed Trump, cuts $500 million in vaccine funding. He wants you to die. Yeah, he wants you to die. He said that vaccines don't help upper body respiratory stuff. Um, Screw you, because that's a lie. I got my COVID shot and I never had COVID, and that was after I had it once. Um, I know it may seem like my body got used to it or whatever. You never know. I wasn't tested on. I believe vaccines are good. Why would you not want a vaccine? This is coming from the guy that swam in like trash water. You're gonna listen to him about health. Yeah, all right. I said earlier, there's $20 billion funding to Israel. Netanyahu is a terrible person as well. He's killed over 30 million people. I'm sure it's way higher than that now. But um, they're atrocious people, and it's crazy to think that people actually support Israel instead of Palestine. Um, kind of doing a transition, this smooth transition if you've seen the movie. Let's talk about Superman though. Superman in the movie had pretty obvious representation of Israel and Palestine in America. They just called it different places. Um, I could talk about Superman for hours on end. I won't, but it's the best Superman movie ever. And I know you may be sounding, you're like, what? Better than Christopher Reeves Superman? Yes, way better. This is the best adaptation of Superman we've ever had, and it is the best Superman movie ever. Now, don't get me wrong, loved Henry Cavill playing Superman, but Zack Snyder's writing and everything outside of like the Man of Steel writing was so atrociously bad. I can say I have never felt hope in a movie until after watching Superman. I actually felt hope coming out of a movie. It's a movie that actually made me want to be a better person. I give the movie a 10 out of 10. The soundtrack, I also give it a 10 out of 10. I've never gotten teary eyed at a soundtrack before in my life until now. By the way, my favorite movie is Interstellar, and I think Superman's up there with Interstellar. And last good movie I saw before Superman was Schindler's List. That's a sad good movie. Superman was great though, dude. Um, Superman, like, dude, the character was so well written by James Gunn. It's like they say, the gun never jams. Like, he's gone hit for hit for hit, and I think him doing Superman was a huge risk as his start for the DC. I know he's wanting to do more comic book based characters. Like he has Mr. Terrific in the Superman show. He's Metamorpho, Ultraman, the Engineer. Um, but you can't start with a comic book character because not everyone reads comics. You know what I mean? But the difference between Superman and Batman, for example, if he did Batman, I know we already have a Batman, so it'd be bad if he did it. But Superman has had bad movies. There really aren't. I mean, there's iffy Batman movies, but Batman people have got him so down to the point that he's now almost impossible to write badly. So him not doing like Batman or like someone else really main like really main and like mainstream, I guess you could say, outside of Superman, and like someone that you can't mess up writing is crazy. Um it was a huge risk that he did because when he joined and he announced that there'd be a new Superman, that was when they also announced that Henry Cavill would return as Superman. So there was a lot of weight on his shoulders with this movie, and it was great. And now, he can explore more of his ideas with comic book characters. Like he talked about, oh, by the way, Peacemaker comes out Friday. I'm not sponsored, sadly. But no, I love John Cena. Peacemaker comes out Saturday, and that's gonna be second season of the show. It's a great show. Um, but yeah, no, James Gunn wants to do like a Clayface horror movie with body horror. That's insane. It's gonna be rated R, he said. That's gonna be sick, dude. And Batman 2 coming out. I think he's the best choice for the DC universe. Now, Marvel should just fire Kevin Feige and have James Gunn be the leader of DC and Marvel because Kevin Feige sucks. Speaking of Marvel, Fantastic Four. I saw Superman and Fantastic Four the same day. I can proudly say Fantastic Four to me is an 8 out of 10 movie, maybe 8.5. The soundtrack and the theme song for the new Fantastic Four is so good. I will say this again. It is so good. Both of the soundtracks on the movies are like incredible. Um Fantastic Four was a bit short, which was different from the MCU because it was one of the shortest movies we had in a while. Um, I do really like it though. I was nervous about the characters. I mean, not the characters, the actors they casted for this movie, but they did great. The movie honestly felt like a Sue Storm movie. And what I like is that they didn't just make her stand there looking pretty. No offense to Jessica Alba or anybody. Um, but like that's how they rent Jessica Alba's character, just to be some pretty looking hero, like to be pretty and be Reed's wife. But no, Sue actually had a great character arc and great story, and they actually for once made Johnny smart. They didn't make Johnny seem like an idiot, which I love. Yes, he's witty sometimes, but he actually is somewhat smart. Um, we got Galactus again. We haven't had Galactus, I think, since the 2005, maybe. It may have been late 2012, maybe. Fantastic Four. I don't know when the second one came out, but the Silver Surfer one. Um, and he was barely in the movie, but this Galactus is so good, bro. Like it is so good. And spoiler alert. If you haven't seen it, don't watch this part. I'll tell you where to skip to if you haven't seen it. The post-credit scene. I think we all expected it to be Doctor Doom at the end. I have a problem with Marvel and post-credit scenes. Marvel has ruined the post credit scene game because it seems like every post credit scene now has to be a lead up to a second movie. It doesn't. Post credit scenes should just be extra clips from your movie that you made. That's what I like about Superman's post credit scene. It's not a hint towards any type of new movie. It's just an extra clip. Um the scene was good. It was RDJ on set apparently. Um that's what Vanessa Kirby said, who plays Sue Storm, and it teases RDJ and Franklin Richards. Sorry, I had an interruption. Something technical went wrong. um, yeah, the post credit scenes. It was good. Don't get me wrong. I was hyped, but there's a problem right now because Avengers Doomsday, which is supposed to have a bunch of characters in it, along with Doctor Doom, comes out of December 2026. Our next MCU movie that we only know about is going to be Spider Man. The problem is they are setting up too many extra storylines. Shang-Chi, Ironheart. We haven't had a Shang-Chi movie in a while. That was left random. Eternals, Harry Styles character. Boom. Just never happened again. Um, Apparently in the Marvels, um, I forget who it was, but she went to the dimension that had the X-Men in it. Maybe that's tied somehow to the movie, but like they're just going random and it's so random and they need to establish a storyline before they mess this movie up. The next movie we have is Spider-Man Brand New Day as of right now. I have high hopes for that movie. It looks really good right now. The suit, I love it. It's the first time in a while. It's the first time since the Amazing Spider-Man 2 where the webbing on the suit it sticks out instead of it just being flat on his body and it looks like CGI. I also like how they kept the mechanical eyes for the mask. I personally really like that because it reminds me of comics and the animated shows where he has like his expressions and stuff. Um so that looks good, but that's all we have right now. Like besides the Fantastic Four post credit scene and besides the um Thunderbolts post credit scene. We have zero storyline for the movie, I feel like. But I mean, yeah, hopefully they don't ruin that. Another movie I want to talk about is Weapons. Dude, I'm going to see that on Saturday. So the next podcast episode or talk show or whatever we're going to call it, podcast probably. I'll talk about that. But I've heard it's great. It has an 8 out of 10 on IMDb and has a 95% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Now I know Rotten Tomatoes isn't reliable because they give stuff terrible ratings, and they also said I think it was Cuties or something, which was a weird Netflix movie about little girls, and it's basically you know it was basically bad child stuff. Um, it was weird, and they gave that like a 90% rating or like an 88%. That's weird. Rotten Tomatoes. Um, let's see. Everything's expensive. Movies are expensive. Movies are crazy expensive right now. Um, people can't even find jobs either. Jobs are terrible right now. There are 80K. First off, we're in the first half of 2025. It's August 6th. I just got that terribly wrong. August is not the 6th month. It's the 8th. We're a little bit past halfway. Ignore what I just said. Good lord. Um, but no, we're 80K jobs down in the first half of 2025. That's atrocious. I over summer tried to apply to many jobs, couldn't find one. It took my cousin like 7 months to get out of her job that she wanted to get another. Like, I need to save money to go to college. I need a my bad. I need a job. Um, but yeah, no, 80K jobs for in the first, gone down, I guess you could say, yeah, down in the first half of 2025. But Trump wants to build a $200 million golden ballroom. It must match his Oval Office. But yeah, no, the golden ballroom is Trump's needs, but we can't even get pilots to fly planes in the sky because everyone says they're hiring, but when you apply, you get no response back. The bare minimum they can do is at least respond to you and be like, "Hey, we don't want you," or "Hey, sorry, we're too got too many people working right now." But they don't even respond to you, dude. It's crazy. S- I was gonna say speaking of, but no, this is just changing the subject again. Roblox is banning Schlep. If you don't know who he is, he's a Roblox creator. I don't know much about him. I think he does videos though, and he fights to get rid of PDF files. If you don't know what that is, it's the weirdos that talk to kids. But he fights to get rid of PDF files, but they banned him and are suing him because apparently what he's doing is going against the terms of service and it can harm others. What's crazy though is it wasn't part of the terms of service that he couldn't do that. And now it seems like the Roblox CEO is supporting. Oh, I said the word. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. It seems like the Roblox CEO is supporting PDF files. Um, because they just added a new term saying that you can't fight them anymore, which is weird. Like you're just gonna let these people go, like on your kids app, and they added a new system where you can do crazy new dance moves or whatnot. I don't know the full thing about it, but I know that there's a lot of weird stuff. I was playing a game the other day, and a person did an emote and turned into a wiener. Yes, the man's genitalia. It was weird. That's a kid's game. Speaking of genitalia, the WNBA games. WNBA had to install nets on courtside because people wouldn't stop throwing adult toys onto the court. Many jokes have been made after the last one was thrown because it was green, and people are saying that's the only green that WNBA players have seen on the court. I'm joking. I love the WNBA. I never watched it. No, but you know, it's a weird thing. It is kind of weird. A guy got arrested for it. Um, I'd be a liar if I said it wasn't that if it wasn't kinda funny, though, but it is kinda odd. Um, we're gonna jump back. We're gonna wrap up here in a bit, but we're gonna jump back to Ice. Dean Cain, this ties in with Superman. Superman's an immigrant. He's the literal definition of an immigrant. He's an alien from space. By the way, calling illegal immigrants illegal, or just calling immigrants that are illegal like aliens or something, is so dehumanizing. Illegal isn't that bad, but you don't have to be like, oh, they're an illegal alien, dude. Like, I would never call a black person the N word. I would never call a gay person the F word. I would never call anyone any racial slur or anything that dehumanizes them. Calling an immigrant an alien is terrible. This isn't like calling a person that teaches students a teacher. No, this is a label given to them to make them seem like they are terrible people. But yeah, that's my take on that. Superman is a actual alien. He comes from a different planet, Krypton. He's literally from space. He is an alien, not a human. But he's an immigrant. He crashed in his pod on Kansas and was adopted by his parents. He got fake IDs and fake everything. He has a fake alias as Clark Kent. He's an immigrant. But actor Dean Cain, who played Superman, and I think it was a show. I don't know. Everybody forgot about Dean Cain. He joined ICE, and he said, if you want to help save America, ICE is arresting the worst of the worst and removing them from America's streets. You know what was crazy was when Dean Cain was casted as Superman, the press called him Sushi Man because of his Japanese heritage. He's been a victim of racial profiling. His family in the 1940s went through Japanese internment camps. If he knows anything about, I mean, if anyone knows anything about racism, it's him. But he joined ICE. Tell me you're an idiot without telling me you're an idiot. Speaking of ICE, South Park, dude, they're on a roll. They released the first episode for the new season not too long ago, and it basically compared Trump to Saddam Hussein, I think it was. They had an episode with Saddam Hussein. I don't know if that's the person I'm getting right, but it was some sort of terrorist leader, and he was dating and sleeping with Satan. They had Trump dating and sleeping with Satan this time, and they belittled Trump, and it was great. It was great. And don't if any Republicans are like, "Oh, y'all have Trump so much on your head, or y'all just talk about Trump and mean for no reason to him." You did the same exact thing about Biden. Y'all were crazy rude whenever he announced that he had cancer. Like, shut up. Like, you're acting like you don't say stuff about Democrats or liberals every single day. Yeah, they had a new episode with Christy Nome. By the way, if you don't know her, yeah, she shot her dog in the head, 18-month-old puppy, because supposedly to her it was raising a threat towards the kids, an 18-month-old puppy. Uh, that's like Zack Snyder coming out and saying that Crypto was actually in the Man of Steel. He was just actually a grave in the backyard because Paul Kent decided to shoot him to teach Superman a lesson on the loss of life. I mean, Chrissy Nome is a terrible person. She's the head leader of ICE, and the whole episode was about ICE. And speaking of Crypto, there's a scene where Crypto's flying in the sky, and Chrissy Nome shoots Crypto. And at the end of the episode, it has Chrissy Nome just lighting up a dog like adoption center because that's what she's known for, is shooting her 18th-month-old puppy in the head because it posed a threat to her kids. Yeah, she's another idiot, a part of the Trump administration. Um, Charlie Kirk, another big supporter of Trump, not a part of the administration, but he's just another racist. He said that Trump putting the National Guard and taking over the police was a great idea because there's no room for criminals in this country. But what's also crazy is that Jeffrey Dahmer, if you don't know him, notorious serial killer, Ted Bundy, notorious serial killer, Harvey Weinstein, Kid Diddler, Diddy, We know Diddy and Epstein, kid diddler, and weirdo. Not no, I don't know, not kid diddler, but human taking humans, and doing bad stuff. But yeah, no, Ted Bundy. He said there's no room for criminals in America, but that's crazy because Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, and Diddy all combined still have less felony charges than Trump has. It's like 26 in total for them or 29 in total. Trump is 34 felony charges. He was all guilty of. The guy running your country telling you about immigrants and how you need to get rid of them and needing to get rid of criminals is a criminal who is married to an immigrant. Take that in. Like, all right, let's wrap it up with talking about the Jid album. Jid or JID is a rapper from Atlanta with some of the best flow I've ever heard in my life. My favorite rapper is Kendrick Lamar. I can go talk about him for hours. But Jid is like my third favorite rapper. He is so incredibly good and his storytelling is great. This new album is a 10 out of 10 album. It talks about a whole bunch of like deep stuff between, you know, um personal stuff between him. It talks about God. It's called God Does Like Ugly. And it's like God likes ugly, but God doesn't like all ugly. Do you know what I mean? Like God will like you even after you sin, but he will not like you. It's not that he won't like you, but he doesn't like it when you sin and you're just like, "Oh, it's okay. God will forgive me." No. But yeah, it's such a good album. 15 songs, hit after hit after hit. Community's really good. The one with Mariba, I hope I pronounced that right, is great. Um, yeah, it's a great album. It's a definite. I definitely would recommend listening to it. It's 57 minutes, so if you ever have free time that you feel like listening to it, I say go for it. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up here. This is the first episode of the podcast. Might have a co-host on the next one, might not. I don't know when the next one will be coming out. I'm gonna try to get it out by next week. But yeah, everyone have a wonderful day. Um, Peace.